Now we're on to phase two where you're going to show up. You're going to show up in person, the meet and greet. This is putting a face to the project. And our goal for this meet and greet is for you to establish trust and create comfort. Remember, you have to get them to trust you with their business. Their business is their baby. We just have to keep remembering that. Their business is like what they've put all of their eggs into, right? And you, a stranger, have to get them to trust you with that basket for a minute. Okay, so we need to know our shit and we need to be really confident and we need to be really calm. Now is the time when it's okay for your vibe to be a little bit casual. And I don't mean casual, I don't care. I mean casual, yes, I got this, I'm not worried about it, right? We want to tap into that energy of like, yes, this is fine because I know what I'm doing. My hand is steady. I got this. You can trust me. That's when we can kind of be calm. We're going to dress professionally. Normally, I don't like telling people how to dress for work. If you've ever been on one of my sets, you know I really don't care what people are wearing. But again, we have to kind of keep in mind for this, you have a short amount of time to make a first impression. So dress professionally. Bring some material with you to establish credibility. They might have already Googled you, but just in case, bring your website, bring some photos, bring a pitch deck. They're probably not actually going to look through it, but having it makes sure that they know that you're a real film. And again, if your material looks really professional, even people who are not in filmmaking can look at a pitch deck and say like, oh, this looks like the films that I see in theaters. This looks really good, right? They don't have to be a professional to know if your material looks put together and it looks elevated. Think of this like a job interview. Show them that you can do the job. Show them that you can treat their business and their home and their property with respect. Provide as much clarity and detail as possible and talk them through your plan. So remember how we talked about you don't want to lock in your plan before your location says yes? You don't want to lock it in, but you do want to know what it is. Because if they say to you, yeah, okay, well, maybe I could consider letting you guys film here. When are you thinking of doing it? And you're like, well, we don't really have our dates down yet, so, it can be whenever. That also kind of sounds like you don't know what you're doing yet. So, a great way to answer that question would be, yeah, we're really hoping to film in August. We can be flexible with you about your availability. We also have to check in with our cast, but an ideal time frame for us would be August. We think we could be in and out of your space in one day. So, we want to provide them with as much clarity as possible because the more details you can tell them up front, again, the more they're just going to trust you and feel like you really know what you're doing. Um, and then open a dialogue and allow for questions and flexibility, right? So ask them, do you have any questions about what's happening? If they throw you something that you don't have an answer to yet, you can always say, actually, we're still talking about that. Or, that's a great question. Can I follow up with you and get you some more details about that? Keep the conversation going. This can just be the starting point. It doesn't have to be like this conversation is the yes or no. In fact, it probably won't be. Hopefully, this is where they're excited, but it might not necessarily be the end of the talking. Okay,